Okay, Kristen here from PopCultureMadness.com with Don Jamieson. How are you?
Well, right now I'm like in another stratosphere. I just went up on the Frantic stage and did comedy for a half hour in front of 3,000 metalheads, and gotta say, this is one of the greatest honors of my life to be here. Thank you so much, Metallica, and thanks to everybody who keeps metal alive.
Absolutely. So, how do you feel about the diversity of this festival? I mean, there's like a little bit of everything here.
It's like a European festival in a lot of ways. When I went to Download in 2009, I saw Journey and Dream Theater and Slipknot all on the same stage, and over there it makes a lot of sense, but over here we haven't had festivals like that. Lollapalooza to a certain extent, but in terms of metal, Metallica just brought this cool vibe. They put their stamp on this and said, hey, we handpicked everybody here. They're cool. Check out as much stuff as you can. There's only so long you can headbang. You can't headbang for 19 hours, so they have tons of other stuff for people to do, and I think this will be the first of many.
Absolutely. So how do you feel like metal and comedy go hand in hand? Because, I don't know, we tend to see that a little bit more these days. I mean, even Bonnaroo has their own, comedy stage now.
Well, I think with metal in particular, a lot of my influences as a comic is from metal artists. Ozzy, even to this day, in every interview, he's got a million great one-liners, He's like the Rodney Dangerfield of metal. Yeah. Alice Cooper tells the best story ever. He's like the Bill Cosby of metal. Pete Steele, may he rest in peace, from Typo Negative, was always so self-deprecating and had a real dry Stephen Wright sense of humor. So those are really guys that I learned from.
So is it hard for you to switch hats, between doing stand-up and TV and all that? How's it, being out at a festival like this versus, being in front of cameras, like on a closed set?
Well, I've been doing comedy for 15 years, so it's more of the switch the other way, to go on TV. But the cool thing about that metal show is we just talk like we would talk if we were hanging out. We always said that from day one. We gotta do this like we're just hanging out backstage after a show, having a few beers, shooting the bull about metal, and that's how we do it on the show. We don't hold anything back. If someone's offended by what we say, then so be it. I mean, a guy like Lars comes on and we goof on him about Lulu, and he understands. We're not, we don't dislike the whole catalog of music. Those guys wanted to go off and do something kooky, and I respect the hell out of him for doing it. But he knows, he comes on, he's going to get his, nuts broken a little bit, and we're going to have fun. But we pay tribute to all these bands, and we respect them and love them.
So what's one of the most awkward interviews that you've done?
Probably Marilyn Manson, because he was drinking absinthe the entire show. Okay. So it was like babysitting a 5-year-old, But that's what I want from Marilyn Manson when he comes on the show. I don't want Marilyn Manson to come on and be a shiny, happy person. I want him to be Manson, and he was, and it was great. Biff from Saxon seemed a little ticked off because he was pretty hammered by the time Biff came out. But that was it was awkward, challenging, and really fun all at the same time.
So on the flip side of that, what's been one of the smoothest interviews that you've done? What's been one of your favorites?
Yeah, pretty much all. I mean, there could be a huge list of people like in that range. I mean, Alice Cooper makes it easy. Like I said, he's got a million stories, and he doesn't even tell the same stories twice. Like you'll never. I actually begged him to tell the story about when he met Elvis Presley on our show, because I saw him do it on Joy Behar's show, and I said, please, you have to revise that story, and he did it, which was cool. But no, everybody's cool. Brian Johnson's amazing, and I thought we were gonna have to put subtitles on that one. Same with Lemmy,
Yeah.
And Lemmy could just sit there and not say a word, and I'd be impressed, because he's like my hero.
So is there anybody that you'd like to get on the show that you haven't yet?
Justin Bieber.
Seriously?
I got Bieber fever.
Well, that could be interesting. I don't know.
Ozzy hasn't done the show. Nobody from Van Halen yet. So there's still people out there that we haven't had that we'd love to get. And we're trying to broaden it out. We had Styx on last season, so it'd be great to get more classic rockers like that. And then we're also getting newer artists on, or newer in the sense of like newer bands like Slipknot, and David Draymond from Disturbed is going to be on next season, and Jamie from Hatebreed, like all those. We want to make this for everybody. Because metal's not just about one style of music. Metallica's proven that with this festival.
So, how do you feel about the current state of rock music right now?
I think it's better than ever, you know, and it takes a band. See, that's the thing. It takes a band like Metallica, one of the biggest bands, period, in the world, to put something like this on and go, hey, we handpicked these people. This stuff is cool. Check it out. Get into it, because they're not gonna, you know, they can't headline arenas till they're 90. So they want, you know, they're the type of band that will bring new people out and say, hey, in front of their fans and say, hey, these guys are the next wave, you know, because, you know, as metalheads, you're always, you know, looking forward, like, who's the next band that's going to headline arenas and stadiums, you know, and, you know, they give them the shot, you know, and if they go out and they prove themselves, you know, got bands like The Sword and Volbeat and lots of people they've taken on the road have really blown up, you know, pretty big in the last couple of years.
Oh, absolutely. I think it's opening a lot of people's eyes to music that they probably wouldn't have given a shot before.
Yeah, well, and again, that's the spirit of this thing. It's all, you know, there's alternative bands, there's car shows, there's, you know, half pipes and skaters. Lars has a cinema, you know, so, you know, it's sort of saying, hey, you know, there's a lot, you know, we're here for metal, but there's, you know, there's lots more to it.
So is there anybody set you're looking forward to tonight?
Jim Florentine.
Any musicians either?
Yeah, Suicidal Tendencies, I'm dying to see. Ghost, Charred Walls of the Damned tomorrow, and this little band called Metallica.
Awesome.
Can't wait to see Ride the Lightning in its entirety. My favorite Metallica album.
Great. Well, what is next on the horizon for you?
Gonna go get a beer.
Great. Sounds like a plan. Thank you so much for talking.
Thanks,
to us.
Kristen. Appreciate it.